What's going on? Welcome back. Today we're out here on this gorgeous lake. It's hot. I think it's like the hottest day of the year so far. 97 with like the heat index or whatever that stuff is. It's over 100. They were saying 110 yesterday. It's been brutally hot, so I figured why not come out here, enjoy this beautiful lake, get out in the wind a little bit, and hopefully catch some fish. I'd stay home, but the power's out, so instead we're here. We're going to do some fishing today, try to catch some largemouth, explore this lake a little bit in the kayak, and just have a good time. The goal for today is to have some fun and just enjoy the great outdoors. It's a little bit more important than catching fish today, so that's the goals. The goals is have a good time. So let's get in there and see if we can catch a couple fish, toss around some lures, see some wildlife, and just enjoy the day. Let's go. First cast is off. I'm just gonna work around the edges, work around anywhere there's weeds, and see if I can pick one off there. The water looks a little more stained than I'm used to out here, but like I said, we've been getting some storms. The power's out at home, so you know, if the power's out, the storms were pretty heavy. I think there's gonna be a lot of fish up today, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens. There we go. First one out here on this little sandbar. I'm very shocked at how few weeds there are. Oh, I popped off. Got weeds this time instead. I'm very shocked at how few the weeds, that might have been him there. For the third time, I'm shocked at how few the weeds are in here. Usually by this time of the year, it's almost impossible to kayak through here. They get so bad and so quickly that there's just not much you can do to get through them. And it's very hard to get fish to bite just because of how thick the mat is. They can't really get through it very well. So if you're fishing topwater, it's very difficult. Maybe? I had a hit, but I think I have just weeds here, which is too bad. I don't think there's a fish on there. It doesn't look like there's a fish, just weeds. Darn, second one I've lost to the weeds. Like I said, I mean, you can see how thick this stuff is. It is just crazy brutal at times. It is fun to fish through because there's so much vegetation. There's places for these fish to hide and hang out everywhere, that there's quite a good population of bass in here. But it does make for some difficult conditions at times, just getting fish in. Okay, that one scared me a lot. Another bite. It's a little slow today. I think the heat's getting to him. Last time I was here, it was really good fishing. This time it's just a bit slow. But I know that we will get a couple fish before we head out of here. It's just a matter of time. We'll just give it a little more time, a little more patience. We'll be ripping them before you know it. I think I need to reel slower. Just another one gone. I think that's the fourth bite I've lost. Man, I feel like I'm frogging right now. I'm just struggling. And the wind is getting brutal. Set up to 12 mile an hour. I'm not sure if this is 12. It kind of feels a little bit more than that. Right there. Somewhere over there. A couple cranes. I've been watching these two cranes for the past probably 2 months over here, and it looks like they have finally had their babies, and they're, oh, I don't know, 6 or 8 inches tall. They're cute little things. I'm not sure they're as friendly as they look, but it's neat, kind of neat to watch the babies grow up, and hopefully they stick around and they're local birds. Otherwise, fishing, it's a little slow. 4 bites so far, which is pretty good. No full commitments yet. We're gonna keep fishing, and I'm sure we will get one, so stay tuned. Mom's watching me pretty intently, making sure I'm not doing anything that's gonna risk her babies. Back to fishing. There we go. I just let the bait sit for half a second there, and we got one. Hooked up, baby. Please stay on. The old weedless paddle tail swim bait does the trick. Never fails. You will catch fish doing this. It just may take, oh, don't pee on me. It may take a little time. He's pretty warm. It's kind of scary warm, honestly. Fish should not be that warm. It's not even July yet. Still early June. We got us a fish. Woo! Feels good to have one in the boat. Heck yes. You've seen it once, you'll see it 1,000 times. This is kind of my go-to. You know, I love lipless crankbaits, but if the weeds are bad, I really enjoy throwing a weedless swim bait of some sort, just because it usually can get fish. It's almost as good as a lipless, but swim baits. There we go. Yes. Second one. Another little squeaky guy. Got a smaller mouth on it. Kind of, you know, got the vibes of a smallie in this one. Another good fish. Just, I mean, they're warm. They're hitting real slow. They're hitting the last second. It's a tougher day out here. But that's what heat can bring for you. I had that expectation coming out here that, you know, the goal was to have fun. And the reason that's the goal is because of the heat. If it wasn't so hot, I'd really be shooting to catch, you know, 10 to 20. But with the heat, you know, anything's pretty good. I'm hoping we can get some rain, get everything chilled back down a little bit, and get back into some of those more prime conditions. Thankfully, we are getting a few bites, though. There's another hit right there. I may have found a sweet spot here. There we go. Okay, calm down, buddy. Right in the front of the lip, and you can tell just by where the hook placement is that it's a little bit slower. When they're biting it like that and not committing all the way, not always a good thing. He got me wet. There we go. First one on the glorious little Senko. It's conditions are weird. When it's hot, you just don't know what to expect. That's by far the biggest one of the day, which is pretty neat. I switched over to another go-to. I know it's windy and the conditions ain't good for a worm, but that's a nice fish. That is a very gorgeous 14-inch largemouth. Beautiful greens, nice. Out of 1 foot of water, really. Lots of weeds, lots of shallow. I think they're coming up and bedding a little bit. And so some of those fish are right on the shoreline pretty much. And that's pretty much, I mean, that's kind of how I caught that fish there. And the worm I am using today is this green with red and black flake in there. It's a watermelon worm. Strike King makes these. Those are probably one of my favorite worms, is the Strike King worms. I think they just have the perfect density to them, and they don't tear too easily. There we go. Hooked up on the absolute last go-to in the tackle box. Ah, no. So I switched over to the old lipless crankbait because it's got a little more rattles in it, a little more aggression, and I was hoping that if I find some super clean, clear water like I've got right in front of me, just fishing right between some thick weeds. But if I can fish that open, clean water with this, I figured I'd get a bite. And sure enough, I got one. But did not get to touch the fish. And I always tell Liz, I say, if you don't touch it, it don't count. So I can't count that one, although it was really close to being counted. I almost want to give it a half. I got good news and I got bad news. One, it's still windy, but the good news is we caught some fish today. Very excited about that. I think I ended with like 5 or 6. Don't quote me on that. May have been 1 or 2 positive, negative, I don't know. But overall, it was a pretty decent day for how hot it is. I mean, it's borderline 100 right now, and we're probably at about 6 o'clock. I don't have a watch on me, but it's probably around 6 and still like 100 degrees. That's incredible. Bad news. I might have a hole in this kayak because it's getting more water in it than I like to see. Not a good thing. So we may have to address that sooner rather than later. But either way, we caught fish today. It was insane out here. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace, y'all.